Hi, my name is Andy, and I'm here today to talk about the BCS National Championship game on Monday, January 7th. The matchup is Notre Dame versus Alabama. I personally think it's a matchup of the century, and I'm here today with my friend Nick. So, what do you think are some of the keys to the game today? Well, on Monday.
Well, Andy, I've tried to break the game down. It doesn't look like it's going to be close to me, but that's why I'm happy to be here, because maybe you can help me out with some of the Notre Dame points in the game, because I'm not used to watching Division II football, so I don't really know much about them. After that, we'll have to go. Let's just break it down position by position, okay, and let's see what we come up with at the end.
The matchup.
Exactly.
Like quarterback,
let's go matchups.
Running backs.
At quarterback, Golson, extremely improved since the start of the year. Maybe a little immature as far as the importance of the game.
Redshirt freshman, 19
exactly,
years old, so
exactly.
It's not going to be A.J. McCarron.
Exactly.
22.
The problem, McCarron, I believe last year he was a quarterback who was told what to do, did what he had to do.
Game manager.
Exactly. This year he was given the keys to the car and told, go. And that's why you see a big difference. It's not just run with a little pass. Now they'll go down the field. He'll do more things. I think there's a huge advantage in that position. With that said, we have to look at the rest of the players around the team and go from there.
Yeah. Personally, I think it's going to be, if it is close, it's going to be a defensive battle. I don't think you're going to see a 32-28 game like the Alabama Notre Dame. I think if it is close, it's going to be down there where it's going to be field goals are going to be key. I think Notre Dame and Alabama, their defenses are both similar in the sense that they both stack up quite well. I think Alabama, some of their weaknesses in their secondary, it has shown up over the last couple games. But where they really do well is the front seven, as Notre Dame does. And they got that emotional leader, Manti Te'o. You gotta love this story in that case. I know you don't like Notre Dame, but it's a good story.
I have no problem with his play. I think he's an outstanding linebacker. Is he an elite linebacker? If it wasn't for the story, I don't think I ever heard of the guy before this. It's the story that's put him on the map.
Well,
I'm sorry, but
he did come second in the Heisman voting. He just had like 7 interceptions this year.
Who was he last year and the years before? I never heard of this guy.
How many times? No, but you could say the same thing about certain guys like Robert RG3. A lot of people didn't watch Baylor play football. Cam Newton played in junior college before he went to Auburn. So it does happen where there's certain guys who come out of nowhere. You don't. Yeah. They're not a non-football school, and then they come out and turn out to be quite good.
I think what he brings is an intangible that he makes the other guys around him
leadership.
They're not deep in any of those positions.
Well, their defensive line is pretty good.
But everyone excels. They feed off him.
Which is good. That's what you want, though.
So if he doesn't have a good game, it could be a long day.
Yeah. Well, the key is, is a Notre Dame's front seven going to be able to stop Eddie Lacy and T.J. Yeldon? That is the key. Are they going to be able to do it?
Well, the offensive line for Notre Dame is a pro, for Alabama is a pro offensive line. Mm-hmm. Two of them are first All-Americans. Yeah. They're going to go in the first round of the draft. They will try.
Do you think they'll take the pay cut to go to the NFL?
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. I hope they stay. No. You can bet that they will try to run the ball down Notre Dame's throat. And you'll know in the first quarter where this game is headed. If Notre Dame stops the run, it's going to be a long, tight game. If Notre Dame can't stop the run, it could be over really quick.
Do you think Notre Dame secondary will be able to deal with guys like Amari Cooper?
I think the biggest advantage Amari Cooper has is his strength. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's like some incredibly great wide receiver, but he's very strong and he fights for the ball. After that, you may throw the ball to Norwood. If I'm Coach Saban, I'm probably dumping the ball off to Lacy. Why not? The man's a beast. He's a beast. I'm just going to drop it off until you stop him. So if you want to bring eight guys into the box there to stop the run, throw out the little dump passes and let's see what happens in the open field, because you know that the secondary will have a hard time bringing him down.
So what coach matchup here? Brian Kelly versus Nick Saban. Obviously, Nick Saban has more experience winning national championships. Brian Kelly won a couple of Division II national championships, which nobody really cares about. But so obviously, would you give the? I'd probably, even as a Notre Dame fan, I would give the advantage to Nick Saban myself. But Brian Kelly is a fantastic. What he's done for Notre Dame, the way Charlie Weiss left that program, he's done quite well to bring them into national.
They've come a long way in a short time.
Yes.
So you have to give him credit. But when I watch him in the interviews, he's picking his words really. He almost looks scared to me. Like he doesn't want to say anything to provoke Saban into, let's keep this game close. I know they're good, da-da-da. Saban, he's an egomaniac. I mean...
Really? I didn't know that. Yeah, I think
Coach Saban, he's an egomaniac. He will try trick plays. I guarantee you there'll be at least one, maybe two. There'll be a fake punt in there. He's going to see what they're made out of. He always does it in the big games. They will be prepared. The other thing you have to remember, it's been a long time since Alabama's been scored on in a BCS championship game. Last year they threw a shutout. The year before they beat Texas, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, the Texas game, they got lucky when they beat Texas a couple years ago. Colt McCoy, the star quarterback for Texas, goes down in the first drive of the game. That helps you. When the star quarterback and the other team goes out.
Golson could go down the first time he carries the ball.
Well, the problem with Golson is he's not that. He's only about 5'11", 180. He's not a big guy.
Exactly. That's why, in my opinion, you cannot let Golson run with the ball. Keep him in the pocket, keep him protected, so he can last the whole game.
Do you think Alabama's going to take the same approach when they took the approach to Denard Robertson? They'll take that for Golson because they're similar. And we're not saying that because he's black. We're saying that because they're both running back.
No, you know what? In the open field, you have 350-pound men chasing him down with incredible speed. They will punish him in the open field. Keep him protected, keep him in the pocket, and let's see. That's the only way I see Notre Dame winning. If they think that they're going to win on broken plays and his scrambling abilities, he's going to get hurt and it's going to be game over.
All right, now we're going to do some predictions. And what is your prediction for the game, Nick?
It's going to come down to mistakes. Notre Dame plays a mistake-free game. They have a chance. Keep it close. Don't fall behind. Don't try and do what you're not good at. And they have a chance. On the other side of the ball, and so I believe that Notre Dame has to get the ball first, score, get a turnover, and go from there. If they get scored on and turn over the ball, it's going to be a long, long day. So play mistake-free. I don't like the other thing is I don't like their return game. They don't really have a return game, and their kicking game's kind of shaky at best. So just keep it close. I believe Alabama will win this game.
So, but you would say is if obviously what you're saying, if Notre Dame gets out to a lead, maybe 7-0 after the first quarter,
hang around.
Odds are in favor. But if Alabama gets up 14-0 at the beginning, you think the chances of Notre Dame ever going
Saban will lead him up.
Yeah.
Saban will lead him up. He goes up 14. It's going to be long. It's going to be an embarrassment to the BCS for ever having put this game together. If they go up 14-0, just hang around, and you'll get a good game. Like I say, be ready for Saban's trick plays. He always does it. He always does it in big games. He tries to catch you off guard. So be prepared. What do I see the final score? I know, if I'm not mistaken, I think Notre Dame's only given up 2 touchdowns max in a game this year. Yeah, 2 touchdowns, and they're scoring. They're only giving up about 10.4 points a game. Alabama's 10.7, so it all depends on. I don't go with that. We saw Georgia score 34 or whatever.
28.
And we saw Johnny Boy there.
Who even gave the name of Johnny?
I don't know where that name came from. Does he deserve it? Probably for now. Let's see what he does next year now that everybody figures him out.
Well, if you have game tape on a guy, then it's a lot easier to scheme against him if you don't have game tape.
But I truly believe Alabama will win the game. Experience maybe, the big factor in the game. Having been there, knowing how to handle it, knowing what to do and when to do it.
Well, you know what the layoff's like too, because 5-6 weeks. Is
layoff-wise, they've gone through it before, and they know how to prepare for it. For Notre Dame, I watched Kelly on TV, and he says, you know, we're trying to emulate the Alabama program because you know it's the best out there.
So it's obviously has a lot of respect for Nick Saban. I think a lot of coaches do. They may not like the guy personally. I think a lot of people personally detest
the man is
scum of the earth.
He's a dick. Real simple. He's not a good human being.
He's not exactly what you call a genial personality. I don't think he's going to be hosting Regis and Kelly.
But it's not his job to be a nice guy.
No,
exactly. So, final score, I'm going to go out and say 24-10 for Alabama. You know, if they throw a shutout, it wouldn't shock me if they throw a shutout. But 24-10, and I'm giving the Notre Dame defense a whole bunch of credit, not knowing if they can handle the run. If they can handle the run,
which
it might be even closer.
They've done good this year at the run. I think, personally, the way you look at it with Alabama, if the run game gets stopped, or if they can have a moderately successful run game, if A.J. McCarron could be the X factor. If he plays really, really well and passes the ball well, you know what? That could add another dimension to their team. I think if they can stop Eddie Lacy and T.J. Yeldon and frustrate McCarron early, who knows? The key, I would agree with you in the sense that Notre Dame has to keep it close early. Notre Dame cannot go on, they cannot go down early. Everett Golson is not the kind of, he's not Joe Montana. He's not going to lead him, they're not going to be 28 points down. He's going to lead him back to a win. But, use the running game, effective play action. I think a guy like Tyler Eifert is going to be very key. Middle of the field, how well is he going to do?
And he can
He's
block.
A big target. He can block.
For the
He's
runs.
A big target. Yeah. He did well in the USC game. I know USC's not Alabama's defense, but he did well because he was so effective that way.